Stupid things that influencers say. As an influencer and a YouTuber myself, I can say it gets bad. And I am probably guilty of many of these. Wayne Goss, about a week ago, Wayne Goss, makeup artist, one of my favorite YouTubers for skin and for makeup advice, uploaded a very similar video, and he specifically spoke about the stupid things influencers say, and he really touched on things like influencers getting Botox and not telling you about it, and their makeup looks great, and you're like, why can't I do it? I have acne scars. And it's like, oh, well, they didn't tell you they got Botox or fillers. He also talked about lighting, how the lighting can make like 200 times difference. Ready? I look great right here. Okay. So Wayne Goss went into a lot of details in that video, but he missed a couple things that, as an influencer myself who has done this, and as a consumer of YouTube, and as someone who's been part of the community for over 10 years, some of the things that really pissed me off, I wanted to just contribute and also say that I love Wayne, and if you haven't checked him out, please go, because you're missing out. Stupid things that influencers say. One of my biggest pet peeves is when an influencer doesn't accurately try a product. They say, I tested this, when they really gave it like 3 or 4 days. When an influencer tests something, or when a person tests something, there is so much PR thrown at influencers, at myself as well, that it is hard to know what even to spend your time or attention on. And I've seen so many influencers, some who are my friends and some who it's just obvious, who've said that they've tested a product when they never gave it a full try. And again, with eyeshadows or with a foundation, you can kind of get away with that, like a first impression. But when it comes to skincare, if it's not a first impression video, you need to give that time to work. The skin takes 28 days for each cycle. Why is that? Well, if you have acne or wrinkles, this is for men and women, you have testosterone and estrogen hormones in your body, and those fluctuate. Throughout a 28-day cycle, those fluctuate dramatically. So if your skin looks glowing one day, is it this new product that you've been trying for 2 days? Or is it because you're on that part of your cycle and it's that week of the month? If you're breaking out, is it your period, or is it this new product you tried? And I see influencers who blame products for breaking them out, or who say that a product fixed their skin when they didn't even give it an honest 28-day try. Again, I don't think influencers are trying to rip you off. I'm not trying to at anybody, like, don't come at me. I'm just saying, most people don't know this, and it's not general knowledge. Skincare companies don't tell you that. It's more medical knowledge, but I think that you should be aware. The other thing that influencers say that I hate, and I do this all the time, is I am so obsessed. I am obsessed with this product. I am so excited to talk to you about this today. I am the first person who is so guilty of this. I grew up YouTube circa 2009, like back when Ellen Blair Fowler were in there and the word excited was in everything. And if I look at my old videos, I had this high-pitched squeaky voice. I'll link one right here, cringeworthy, okay? Get your cringe face on. High-pitched squeaky voice. Hi guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited to tell you about XYZ. And I just look back and I cringe myself. That is one of the stupidest things influencers say. And even if they are excited or obsessed, the word has lost its meaning and validity because it is so overused. This next one is one that does not pertain to the public. This next one is what actually happens behind the scenes. And I just want to share this because I've been in this space for 10 years. I've met a lot of influencers. Most are wonderful, and I think everyone has good intentions, but there are some. Well, let me just explain. Again, I'm not adding anybody. This is about nobody in particular, but the words, let's hang out, or let's get together. Influencers, I feel like at these events, it's networky. And it's like, oh my God, I've watched your videos, or oh my God, I don't know who you are, but I just found out that you have like 800,000 people on YouTube. Oh my God, that's so interesting. Tell me about your life. Scrolling through my texts. That is so awesome. You know, I'm gonna go over there and talk to that person. Let's hang out. Like, let's get lunch. Sometimes it's genuine. Like, oh, you're cruelty-free. I'm cruelty-free. Oh my God, we're both from the Bay Area. That's so cool. Do you want to get out and do coffee sometime? And the answer is yes, let's hang out. The reason this pisses me off so much is because it never happens. And there's 2 reasons. One is social climbing. The person was, again, just climbing the social ladder, scrolling through their phone, trying to collab with like the next hot thing. But I think the real reason is because influencers are overworked. Most influencers do the work of like 3 employees and are understaffed, if staffed at all. Editing, it depends on how much you put into it. If you're anyone other than Tanamoto, it takes a lot of damn work. And so even though an influencer may have a good intention to be like, oh, I want to hang out, or like I genuinely want to understand who you are and get together, it doesn't happen. Schedules are too busy, life is too crazy. Hell, I can't even keep track of my Instagram feed and my Instagram posting schedule. How am I gonna keep track of meeting someone? And then there is social climbing, which is just gross. The very last thing that I wanna talk about is when an influencer says, I made this, or I formulated this. Just facepalm, facepalm. A lot of what happens in the YouTube world, let me know if you want like the business behind the beauty. A lot of what happens in the YouTube world doesn't get shared to the extent that it should be. And if you do not have a background in chemistry, or if you do not have a background in business or economics, you might not know how these things work. And I think that the younger generations, you know, we're talking like 12 to 15 who are consuming a ton of YouTube, don't know this. But a lot of companies reach out to influencers and co-brand products. For instance, Company A exists, has good products, and says, oh, influencer B looks really cool. We're Company A, we have all these products. Influencer C, would you like to collaborate on this together? Or would you like to private label? Now there's these two differences. What collaborate means is that they already have this product and it has their name on it. It says Company A with Influencer B. You see these all the time. And that's not really a big issue. What it is that the company basically shows the influencer a bunch of colors or a bunch of formulas, and the influencer says, I want to name this one Pixie Dust, I want to name this one Sparkly Ting Tong Toes, and I want to name this one Booger Hippopotamus, and I want it to be purple. We need to add a little bit more sparkles. And then the cosmetics, the chemists, they do that. You can customize the palette. They say, I want it to have, you know, green eggplants being eaten by extraterrestrial Martians on it, and they make that happen. So that is more of a collaboration, and if an influencer says, I collaborated or I helped make this, that's true. But did they actually make it or formulate it? No, they didn't. They might have just made some adjustments. And again, that's not the Big Whopper. The Big Whopper? Burger King is like, they have a vegan patty now, so we'll just go with it. The Big Whopper, for me, is when this private labeling happens. And this happens all the time. There are cosmetic factories or cosmetic manufacturers. These are companies that literally are in the business of selling products. And they probably sell to 10 different brands. Have you ever noticed that you try like a good skincare cleanser and you're like, oh my God, this works exactly the same as this other cleanser. Isn't that weird? Or you're like, oh my God, this $5 ColourPop lipstick works just as good as the Kylie Jenner $40 one. Why is that? There's a likelihood that those were made in the same lab. These laboratories make formulas. They have actual chemists, they have fill lines, they have like, this is a business, and they sell these to different companies, and the company can customize them or just take them and go. Sometimes the packaging is done in-house. Again, the package that you get, sometimes it's done in-house, or sometimes someone will say, okay, we're gonna get the packaging from over here, the formula from over here, and put it together so that nobody knows that it was just purchased right off the shelves. I think that even Steve Madden's shoes are made in like the same factory as, what is it, Chanel or something? I don't know, somebody correct me on that. I don't know fashion, I can't with fashion anymore. But what pisses me off is when these companies approach influencers. Oh, since when do I clap? Companies approach influencers and they say, hey, do you want to have your own skincare line? Do you want to have your own beauty line? We have this formula. It's really awesome. Maybe it is really awesome, or maybe it's total crap. But do you like the way it smells or the way it feels? Yeah, it's full of dimethicone. So even though you're selling it as a moisturizer, it's really just a makeup primer. But do you want to sell this to your audience and put your name on it? And for an influencer, let's not lie, I think everyone, even if you try not to be, everyone is somewhat egotistical. Is it not cool to have your name on a product that you say that you created? That's kind of cool. Problem is, these influencers didn't actually create them. And a lot of the times, if they don't have a background in chemistry or in cosmetic manufacturing or cosmetic formulations, the chemistry of cosmetics, they don't know, they just don't know what they don't know. And then these products are being sold and they're like, I made this, I formulated this. And it's like, no, you didn't. And if you worked with a chemist who, like, side by side, that is cosmetic formulation. Jeffree Star, perfect example. He is in the lab. They in the lab, owns his own manufacturing plant. He's not outsourcing, he does it in-house, right? He's there touching the formulas, directing, talking about what copolymer he wants in there to make sure that it feels good on the skin. Half of the other influencers aren't even looking at the chemistry, don't even take the time to educate themselves, and they just slap their name on a product and they sell it to the masses. And that is not just a stupid thing that influencers say, but it's a thing that pisses me off. But again, can you see why it happens? Because I see why it happens, and it's business. And again, not adding anybody, I just think that you should be aware of this. As a consumer who consumes these products, you should know what's in them, what goes into them, and how they're made, so that you can decide if you're buying this palette or this cleanser or this product because you're supporting the influencer, or if you're buying it because you actually want something efficacious and that this influencer put their hard work into. You want to know, and there's a lot of not knowing what we don't know. So go check out Wayne's video right here. He talks about the Botox. Oh, he talks about the lighting. He talks about all of it. And watch a video right here if you want to see some of my other not so popular opinions on the influencer world and cosmetic manufacturing. Always be beautiful, my little butterflies, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video. Bye.